Assalamu alaikum, dear students of standard 11 and 12. How are you? Hope you are fine. Today I am here. I will explain some mathematical problems which are based on circuit analysis. And some of you told me yet you have some problem in understanding circuit. So for doing the math which are based on circuit, I want to tell you one thing. You have to practice. You have to practice and practice. And while doing the math which are based on circuit, you will at first break up the circuit and you will build it up again. So let's do the math. Look, in one number there is a circuit and we have to find in a number what amount of current will be flown through 4 ohm resistance. That means the current that goes through 4 ohm resistance, you have to find out that. And in B number, how much amount of heat will be produced if current flows through 1 ohm resistance for 2 minutes. Okay, so let's do the math. Solution of A. We have to find out the current that flows through 4 ohm resistance. Look, here the current which is supplied by the cell coming to this point divide into two parts. One will go through this and another one will go through that. So suppose I current is going through in this direction. So then I again will be divided into two parts. One will go through 4 ohm resistance and another will go through 2 ohm resistance. So we can understand 2 ohm and 4 ohm resistance are in parallel connection. Okay, 4 ohm and 2 ohm are in parallel connection. So RP, that means equivalent resistance in parallel combination, equal to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2 inverse 1, that is equal to 1.33 ohm. Okay, now these two are in parallel and then we got it RP. So this RP is in series with 3 ohm resistance. Okay, so RP and 3 ohm are in series. So R is equal to RP plus 3 ohm, that is equal to 4.33 ohm. Then the circuit will look like this. Ohm, 4.33 equivalent resistance. Dear student, now look, these 4.33 and 1 ohm resistance are in parallel combination, and you know in parallel combination current is different but voltage is same. That means for 4.33 and for 1 ohm resistance the voltage is same, that is 39 volt. Okay, now we will find out the current that flows through this. So I equal to V by R according to Ohm's law, 39 by 4.33, and it comes 9 ampere. Okay, so for finding the current that goes through 4 ohm resistance, we can let that I1 current goes through 4 ohm resistance and I2 current goes through 2 ohm resistance. Okay, so in this loop, if we are applying Kirchhoff's voltage law, then we get what? And in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so 4 I1 minus 2 I2 equal to 0. Look how, if we are moving in this way, so I1, the direction of I1 is towards this direction and we are also moving in the same direction, that's it is positive. Then in this way, when we come to this here, then I2 in that direction, but we are measuring voltage in the opposite direction, so that is negative. You can write 4I1 equal to 2I2, and look, at this point, you know, at the junction we can apply Kirchhoff's current law, and at the junction the incoming current equal to outgoing current. So at this junction I equal to I1 plus I2. So in place of I2 we can write what? 2 into I minus I1, okay, equal to 2I minus 2I1. So 6I1 equal to 2I equal to 2 into 9. Previously you got I equal to 9 ampere, okay. So I1 that goes through 4 ohm resistance should be 3 ampere, okay. This is the answer, okay. And the answer of this math is 3 ampere. That means 3 ampere current flows through 4 ohm resistance. And in B number you have to find out how much amount of heat is produced when current flows through 1 ohm resistance for 2 minutes. So given, what are given here? R equal to 1 ohm, then T equal to 2 minutes, that is equal to 120 seconds. Look, so the voltage across 1 ohm resistance also 39 volt, okay. So for finding out heat, the formula is what? H equal to I square RT. But we don't have I, so at first we have to find out the current I that goes through 1 ohm resistance, okay. I equal to V by R according to Ohm's law. Here V is 39 and R equal to 1, so 39 ampere, okay. So the current that goes through 1 ohm resistance is 39 ampere and it flows for 2 minutes. So the heat which is produced is what? I square RT, 39 whole square into 1 into 120, and it comes 182,520, 1,82,520 joule. This is the answer of B number. Very easy, isn't it? So let's do 2 number. Look, in 2 number there is a circuit which has 2 loops and 3 resistance. Look at this point, I1 is entering, I2 is entering, and I3 is outgoing. And we have to find out the value of I1, I2 and I3. Calculate I1, I2 and I3. And there are 2 cells in the 2 loops. So we have to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law for solving this math, and also Kirchhoff's current law. At first we have to naming the nodes or junction A, B, C, D, E, F, okay. So we get 2 loops here. So in loop A, B, E, F, A, Kirchhoff's voltage law, okay. Applying Kirchhoff's voltage law in clockwise. It is your wish. You can choose clockwise or anti-clockwise, no matter. So I1 R1 plus I3 R3 minus E1 equal to 0. Look, এভাবে ঘুরতে ঘুরতে আমরা কিন্তু যখন এখানে আসবো, we will see the negative sign of the cell, so that's why it is minus. But I1 R1 it is positive because the direction of I1 and our movement is in the same direction. It is also positive, but here it is negative. Now put the value 20 I1 plus 30 I3 minus 10 equal to 0. Dividing both sides by 10, we get 2I1 plus 3I3 equal to 1. Equation 1. Now in loop B, C, D, E, B, applying KVL. I am writing here in short form, but when we will do in the exam copy, you must write elaborately. Here we are applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so I2 R2 plus I3 R3 minus E2 equal to 0. Put down the value. 40 I2 plus 30 I3 minus 20 equal to 0. Dividing both sides by 10, we get 4 I2 plus 3 I3 equal to 2. Equation 2. And at point B, applying KCL, Kirchhoff's current law, and Kirchhoff's current law states that the incoming current in the junction is equal to outgoing current. So at point B, I3 equal to I1 plus I2. Equation 3. Now we will put the value of equation 3 in equation 1 and 2. So we have to find put the value of equation 3. This is equation 3 in equation 1 and 2. Let's put 3 I3. In place of I3 we can write I1 plus I2 equal to 1. So আমি একবারে ক্যালকুলেশনটা করি 5I1 plus 3I2 equal to 1. Okay, equation 4. We got it from equation 1. And in equation 2, if we put the value of equation 3, then it will be 4I2 plus 3. In place of I3 we can write I1 plus I2 equal to 2. So it will be 3I1 plus 7I2. Equation 5. You understand? I'm just bracket ভেঙে একবারে করছি. Now easily we can find out the value of I1 and I2. Okay, so if we multiply equation 4 by 3 and minus equation 5 by multiplying with 5, then 15I1 plus 9I2 equal to 3, and it will be 15I1 plus 35I2 equal to 10. Subtracting. So 35 minus 9 is what? 26. I2 equal to minus 7. So I2 equal to, I2 comes 0.269 ampere. Okay, in this way we can solve these two equations and find out the value of I1 equal to 0.0385 ampere and I3 by adding these two, because I3 equal to I1 plus I2, 0.307 ampere. Look here, I can give you the hints. In what way? Here we have cancelled out I1. So by multiplying with this equation by 7 and this equation by 3, we can cancel out I2 and get the value of I1. Okay, I think you can solve it by yourself. So let's do the next one. Dear students, yesterday I have uploaded a video on Wheatstone Bridge. I think you have watched that video. So today on Wheatstone Bridge principle, I will show you a map. Look here, A, B, C, D are 4 junctions and P, Q, R, S1 are 4 resistors. Okay, and in the figure, resistors of the 4 arms of a Wheatstone Bridge are P equal to 8 ohm, Q equal to 12 ohm, R equal to 18 ohm, and S1 equal to 22 ohm. what amount of resistance is to be connected in the fourth arm so that the bridge becomes equilibrium. That means the bridge is not in balanced condition or equilibrium condition or null condition. So for equilibrium condition, what amount of resistance should be connected in series with the fourth arm? Okay, that means with S1. That means we have to find out that. So let's do the math. For bridge condition, for equilibrium condition, the principle of Wheatstone bridge is P by Q equal to R by S. Here S1 is given in the fourth term. The resistance is S1, and what amount of resistance should be connected in series with S1 so that the Wheatstone bridge will be in equilibrium position. Okay, so we know for equilibrium position the formula is P by Q equal to R by S. So we have to find out the value of S from here. S equal to Q into R by P. So 12 into 18 by 8, that is equal to 27 ohm. Look, this S is greater than S1. Okay, S1 is 22 ohm and here S is the 27 ohm. Okay, so in the fourth arm we have to add S2 so that the bridge will be in equilibrium condition or null condition. That means S equal to S1 plus S2. Okay, so S2 equal to S minus S1, that is 27 minus 22 equal to 5 ohm. So 5 ohm resistance should be connected in series combination with S1 so that the bridge will be in equilibrium condition. Do you understand the math? This type of many maths are given in the test paper, so you will practice from that also. Now B number question is what? Look, B number question, verify whether the flow of current in the path ABC and ADC will be equal if galvanometer in the circuit is disconnected. If the galvanometer in the circuit is disconnected, then the circuit will look like what? We have to draw it first. For B number, there is no galvanometer. Okay, circuit will look like this. And what you have to find out? Verify whether flow of current in the path ABC. That means you have to find out the flow of current in ABC path and also ADC path, and you have to show those two current are equal or not if the galvanometer is opened or disconnected. So let's do. P, Q, R, S. Okay. So if there is no galvanometer, so I current is supplied by the cell. I current reaching at point A will be divided into two parts, isn't it? I1 will go through P and I2 will go through R. So here also P and Q are in series connection and R and S are in series connection. So through Q also I1 current will flow and through S also I2 current will flow, and we have to find out I1 and I2. Okay, so for that we have to apply Kirchhoff's law, Kirchhoff's second law. So at first we will apply Kirchhoff's second law in this path. A, B, C, it is E. Yeah, that is the cell. So in loop A, B, C, E, A, loop. Not this one. Just we will follow this. A, B, C, E, A. We start from A and again reach to A. Here if we apply Kirchhoff's voltage law, then we get what? I1 P plus I1 Q equal to what? Look, I1 P plus I2 Q. Here we will see the negative sign of the cell. So minus E equal to 0. Okay. Now put the value I1 equal to, we have to find out I1. P equal to 8. 8 I1 plus Q equal to 12. 12 I1 equal to the value of E is 12 volt. Look, in the question it is given the value of E is 12 volt equal to, we transfer E in that side 12. That means 20 I1 equal to 12. So I1 equal to what? IN equal to 12 by 20 and it comes 0.6 ampere. So the current that flows through ABC path is 0.6 ampere, and we have to find out the current that flows through ADC path. So now at first we apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in the loop A, B, C, E, A, and now we will apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in the loop A, D, C, E, A. Okay, so loop A, D, C, E, A. Apply KVL. So look here, I2 R plus I2 S equal to I2S minus E equal to 0. So R equal to what? R equal to 12. No, 18. Sorry, 18. 18 I2 plus S equal to, we got what? 27. Isn't it? S equal to 27. Oh no, sorry, 27 now. S equal to 22. 22 I2 equal to, and the value of E is 12. We transfer E in that side. Okay. So we get 40 I2 equal to 12. That means I2 equal to 12 by 40, and it comes 0.3 ampere. So I1 equal to 0.6 ampere and I2 equal to 0.3 ampere. Which one is more? That means I1 is not equal to I2. So if the galvanometer is disconnected from the circuit, then flow of current through ABC and ADC will not be equal, and the flow of current through along ABC path will be more than that of ADC. Okay, so we have to write down that. At last you will write, so the current flow along ABC path ABC and ADC will not be equal if the galvanometer is disconnected. Dear students, this type of many maths are given in your book, in your textbook, and also in the test paper. You will collect the test paper from the previous year and you will solve from there. I have already told you, the more you practice, the more you will learn. So don't get afraid. I know you have that potentiality and you can solve by using Kashaf's law. So today, after this, goodbye everybody.